Shields up, Iron Breakers. Rurikhan here coming at you with another video, and today I'm going to be telling guys a bit of a story that happened to me in No Man's Sky. And before you guys ask, no, I'm not trying to sell you guys on No Man's Sky next. If you guys don't want to get it, don't get it. I'm not trying to fight that fight. It's like it's up to each individual whether or not this game is worth it for you. I already did a whole video dedicated on that topic, and now I just want to tell you guys this story because I kind of feel that No Man's Sky lends itself well to like weird stories happening to you as you adventure out into space, and I just kind of felt like sharing this particular story because it is of particular interest to me, and hopefully it will be of particular interest to you guys as well. So those of you who were following me on yesterday's live stream over on Twitch, you guys know that there were a couple of ups and downs in that particular live stream. There were times where we're doing really good, and then there were other times where some really bad things happened to us. So for starters, to put this into context, I had just warped into a system in that live stream, and that system, like as part of the Atlas Rises questline, it kept sending me into planets that were either ice planets, and then immediately after fire planets, and then immediately after toxic planets. And basically, I would have to constantly be navigating my way through these hazardous conditions while still collecting and gathering resources to advance the quest line, as well as advance my own personal goals of potentially getting a better ship, potentially upgrading my frigate and fleet, and doing all of these different things, right? Yesterday was when I actually started learning a little bit about how the fleet mechanics work, which for those of you that don't know, currently in No Man's Sky, you can actually own like a freighter. And that freighter works like a mobile base of operations, essentially a capital ship. It is even referred to as a capital ship in the game. And in that freighter, you can have like multiple frigates. Now, the first one that you get is given to you for free. So basically, as you are progressing through the storyline, you will eventually come across a freighter that is being attacked. You defend that freighter, and the crew kind of like puts themselves in your hands. So you get a freighter. And then immediately after, as you progress in that little quest line a little bit more, you're going to get a frigate as well. Now, I was extremely lucky with the freighter that I got because it is a Class A freighter. And then I was also extremely lucky with the frigate that I got, which was a Class A frigate. So I was like, oh man, look at all this luck. This is amazing. So I have this really cool freighter and a really cool frigate, right? And I'm just doing these expeditions where you send out your frigate, which is essentially a separate ship. You send her out on missions, and it goes out, and then it comes back, and it brings you resources. And I'm like sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to send this thing. And then I'm in the middle of a mission on a planet. And at one point, the frigate is like, oh, it's damaged. So I'm like, oh, okay. Then you have the option to recall the frigate back to your freighter. So I said, oh, if it's damaged, then let's recall it, and let's see how the mechanics work now in order to repair it. So I recalled the frigate, then went back to my freighter. Frigate was there, was damaged, so basically it had to abort the mission halfway. The mission was not complete. And I went into the frigate in order to figure out how I can repair it. And there were like these four things. One of them showed up as damaged. And I was like, oh, I wonder if this works kind of like the lives of the frigate. So essentially you can take some damage, but since there's three of them, I'm going to assume it takes a lot of damage in order for your frigate to actually go ahead and die, right? So I sent my frigate out on another mission after I repaired it, and then I was on another planet exploring, doing things, advancing the Atlas Rises quest line, and I received another message indicating, oh, the frigate has sustained critical damage. And I was like, well, critical, how much damage really is critical, right? Because I mean, you had four of those things. I repaired one of them. I'm assuming you busted out another one. There's still three more. Go ahead, carry on with the mission. And then eventually I do some stuff out in the world, and when it's time for the frigate to return, I'm just like, I haven't heard back from my frigate. What the hell happened? So I go back to my freighter, and I go into the fleet command thing, which is where you can like see what the status is of all of your ships, which I only have one. I only have one frigate, my A-class frigate. And I go there, and it's like telling me, oh yeah, we lost all communications with the frigate. We just assume it's been destroyed. And I was just like, it was an A-class frigate though, because I was really lucky in getting that frigate. What the hell? Oh man. I was like super bummed out that I lost my frigate. right? Super bummed out. But anyways, I carry on, I do a little bit of questing and so on. And so I'm going through this ice planet because all of the planets in this goddamn system have some kind of a hazard to them. So I'm going through this ice planet as I'm advancing the quest line a little bit, and I come across these little silos. And I remember these because I had fired upon a couple of these back, like way back when the game originally released. And I remember that they gave me some decent materials, like nothing special back in the day. But I figured, you know what, I'm going to shoot at these things, the hell with it. So I blow up these silos, and out comes this thing called thermium, I think it's thermium condensite. Right? Is this material that I got called thermium condensite. And I remember looking at it, oh, okay, that's cool. But then I hovered over it and I was like, wait a minute. Each of these things is worth 100,000? Holy shit. So each of those thermium condensites that I've gotten off of that silo was worth 100,000. But when I saw the thermium condensite, it triggered a memory in my head. Now, this is where a really interesting thing comes in, which is if you guys saw my previous No Man's Sky video, you'll have noticed that in the footage that is playing in the background while I'm talking about No Man's Sky, I assaulted a secure facility in that video. And as I got into the secure facility, I solved the little puzzle that's inside, and I got the blueprint for this one item, which is called a cryo pump. Now, I wasn't looking for this item. It just happened, and interestingly enough, it happened in the recording that I did for that previous video. And when I saw the thermium condensite, for some reason that popped into my head because I remembered that the thermium condensite was one of the items required for the cryo pump. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. I remember there was like a thing that I could use this for. So I go into the crafting menu, and cryo pumps are worth 2 million credits. And I was like, holy shit. And I'm sitting like, I think at the time I had like 8 or so thermium condensites, which was one of the materials. I need another material, which is called hot ice. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta find this hot ice somewhere. So my first thought is I go out into the space station. The space station that every one of my streams has been heavily criticizing like as rip-off station, because usually everything that I sold on there, I felt like I was getting ripped off. But anyways, I go to rip-off station, right? Which you guys will probably see at some point in this video, me going back into that station. And in that station, they're actually selling hot ice there for like 400,000 or something. And I was like, oh my God, I got like these thermium condensites that I got from this silo thing, and then I got like this hot ice over here. So basically I manufactured as many cryo pumps as I could, and I made about 14 million or so, because you know I had to sell some of them in order to buy more of the hot ice in order to manufacture more of them. So I made about 14 million profit. So then I went off and I was like, oh dude, I gotta buy a spaceship. So I bought a spaceship. And that's pretty much at the time that the live stream ended, because it's like, well, I'm out of thermium condensite. Like the station here is still selling hot ice, but I don't have the other ingredients, so I can't make any more cryo pumps. And today I logged into the game and I start playing, and first thing that happened, so, you know, last live stream last night was over, I went to bed, came back today, started playing again. First thing that happened is I logged back into the game, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, I don't know if this is a mechanic, I don't know if this is a bug, my A-class frigate was back, and I was like, yeah, it's back. I don't know if it's a bug or not, but I'm never gonna let that frigate die again, right? Those are my thoughts. But anyways, my frigate is back, so I'm like feeling super optimistic, so I'm just flying around still. There was another step in the Atlas Rises quest line, and I didn't want it to do it off stream. So I wanted to keep that quest line to do during the stream. So therefore I did not do that, and I figured, hey, let's go farm something or whatever. And there was, I was exploring the ice planet again because I wanted to see if I could scout some more thermite condensite or something like a silo again. Which, you know, it's a 1 in a million shot. But I'm going through that planet and I come upon a trading post. So I go into the trading post, and as I usually do, I talk with all of the aliens there, see if I can get some money off of them, see if I can get some upgrades, anything. I always interact with all of the aliens and all of the stations. I talk with all of them, and then eventually I go to the galactic terminal because I wanted to sell some stuff. And for whatever reason, I went in there and I was like, oh, let's see if there's anything interesting to buy. That trading post sold thermium condensite. So guess what I did? I bought as many thermium condensite as I could, go back to Rip-Off Station, and then buy a whole bunch of friggin' hot ice, make the cryo pumps, sell them, go back, buy more thermium. Basically, I think I broke the game from an economic standpoint by using the blueprint of the cryo pump. I'm not sure if this is intended or not. I looked up, and apparently there is a guide already, or at least a couple of guides maybe, on YouTube of people explaining that you should get the cryo pump and do this. Like, I didn't see it before the live stream last night, so I was not aware of that. I guess a lot of people are already making millions off of this stuff, but I just thought it was an interesting story because this system, right? This system that was super hazardous, being super annoying. I lost my frigate in this system. And then suddenly at the end of the day, because I stayed on this system long enough, I ended up making 100 million units on there. And I can probably make a whole lot more if I just keep going back between the trading post that sells the thermium condensite and Rip-Off Station. You see, these are the kind of stories that I find to be particularly interesting whenever you are playing a game like No Man's Sky. These are the kind of things that make me want to play these games. However, at the same time, I'm also wondering whether or not I broke the game. I don't know. I'm just curious. I know that there's way more expensive stuff than 100 million that you can buy, especially when you're talking about freighters and frigates and all of that stuff. But ultimately, I don't know, I'm just a little bit confused, but it's a really cool story because I got my frigate back and I made 100 million. What do you guys think about it? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know if you would like to hear more stories like this of my crazy adventures throughout No Man's Sky. Again, I will be live streaming this a whole bunch because I've been enjoying it quite a bit. But yeah, let me know, comment sections, all that good stuff. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the like button. If you guys like my videos, remember, subscribe, and then click the bell icon so that you're actually notified. At this point in the video, there will be 2 video suggestions that you guys can go check out. Once again, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.